Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the channel. This review is for Showtime's American Gigolo, Season 1, Episode 1. We open up the episode in 2006. We have Julian K. He's a male escort. He's in jail at the moment being interrogated by Detective Sunday. She is questioning him in the murder of Janet Holmes. Janet is one of Julian's clients. She has been murdered. Julian was found with the body, with his fingerprints all over the murder weapon. So he was arrested or brought in for that murder. So Detective Sunday is currently asking him questions concerning that and asking him what happened. Of course, he's distraught and shaken, saying he does not remember. Detective Sunday is like, she don't want to hear that bullshit. So basically, she offers him a plea deal. We get a flashback scene of the day in the life of Julian, what it's like. He's driving down the highway in his drop-top convertible, looking good, feeling good, listening to the sounds of Blondie, Call Me, and that's exactly what the women are doing. You see several women calling him all day long, and he's taking them out, making them happy, doing what needs to be done. We now fast forward 15 years from 2006, and Julian is sitting in a prison cell. One thing about it, Julian is keeping himself up while in prison. He's still looking good, keeping his body together. He's manicuring his nails, trimming his hairs, making sure Julian looking and acting like he's still getting ready to have a hot date with the women. So we get Julian out on the basketball court. So he's sitting down after hooping, and one of the prisoners, Drew, comes over shaking and says to him that they tell me you can help me. So I guess his cellmate is beating him up and I guess trying to rape him. I'm not quite sure what it is that he needed help with from Julian, because I never got the answer really. So Julian basically told him give him what he wants so he can't take it. So I don't know if that meant his ass or money, canteen. I don't know what the hell Drew was shaking and scared about. So Julian gets a call from the warden's office out in the yard, and he proceeds to tell the fellas, looks like I got a date with the warden. He goes in there, and guess who's sitting in there waiting on him? It's Detective Sunday. Now, mind you, it's 15 years later, so Julian's looking shocked, I'm looking shocked, and we're both like, what the hell do this lady want? So he walks in the room, and Detective Sunday asks him, do you remember me? Like, lady, why wouldn't he remember you? That's crazy. So she says, what name are you going by now, Julian or John Henderson? He told her Julian. Just keep in mind, his real name is actually John Henderson. So he has a seat. She asked him, does he know who Kevin Finnegan is? He's like, no, I don't know him. Basically, Kevin is on his deathbed, an old hitman. And Kevin decided that he wanted to confess to a whole lot of murders. And the one that Julian was charged with was one of the ones that Kevin admitted to, and he provided all the necessary details of the murder that nobody else would have known about unless they were the actual killer. So Detective Sunday actually came to the prison in person to tell John that he was a free man and that she felt like she owed him in person that information. Johnny is a free man. He's headed back home to where he grew up with his mom in the trailer park. When he gets there, we see the neighbor on the porch, Mrs. Margaret Davis, smoking a cigarette. Julian instantly goes into a flashback to where he was about 13 or 14, where Mrs. Davis would always say, "Oh, I need my sink unclogged." And Johnny would be ignoring her, looking scared and frightened. And when he ignored her, then she would ask Marianne, which is Julian's mom, "Oh, can you have Johnny come and help me?" And the mom would be like, "Well, why can't you get Mr. Breen to do it?" Whoever the hell Mr. Breen is. And then Miss Margaret Davis would say, "Oh, because Johnny does it better." So this lady is basically seducing a young child, and she's just disgusting bat. I don't know if Johnny's mom knows that the lady is actually having sex with her son or not. I really can't tell in this particular flashback if she knows what's going on, but she need to wake her dumb ass up. So in the next scene, Julian is having another flashback of him and Mrs. Davis in more sex encounters. So in this one particular encounter, he leaves her house. When he goes outside, his mom is basically greeting him outside, and a car pulls up. Olga gets out of the car. They go inside the house, and she's checking Julian out, doing looking him up and down, all around, making sure he's the right fit for whatever it is she needs him for. She hands Marianne an envelope of money, and Marianne acts like she doesn't want to take it, so Olga just leaves it on the table. So Julian is like, "What have you done, Mom? What have you done?" And she's all nervous and scared. And it's like, "Oh, just go, you're going to Hollywood. Maybe you can be a star." So basically, she just sold her son to Olga for whatever reason. We don't know what plan she has for Julian at this particular moment, but we could pretty much guess. And then that lets me know that Marianne did know that Miss Davis was over there having sex with her child, and she did not a goddamn thing. I'm over Marianne. Marianne can go. We get Julian reflecting on his childhood, the good times he's had with his mom, all the past encounters he's had with Mrs. Davis, and he gets a little emotional about it. I guess it was basically showing us kind of where it all started from, how he became Julian K, this male gigolo, to all these older women paying him for sex and his time and services. And it's kind of interesting. I kind of would like to know more about him and his mom, because they never show anything with her sexually or allude to that point, but they have a weird relationship. This whole episode basically starts out with a whole lot of flashbacks. So if you're not paying attention, you're probably lost, where you don't know if you're in 2006. You don't know if you're in the present time. So you kind of have to pay attention to keep up with the different flashbacks, because Johnny is reflecting on a whole lot of things that went on through his life. So you just have to pay attention on the different times and places where he meets different people. Julian is in the mirror grooming himself as usual, so he flashes back to 2006 to where he's on the beach with his dog Rufus, and it shows us where he meets Michelle on the beach. She's playing with the dog, and that's how they connect, I guess, for the very first time. We will learn more about Michelle later on in the episode. Julian gets dressed. He gets ready to leave the trailer. He sees his mom. She's laying on the sofa. She's sleeping real hard, so he doesn't wake her. He covers her up with the cover and just looks at her for a long time, but he doesn't wake her, and then he leaves the trailer, and I'm not sure if it's for good. Would that be the last time he sees her? Because he leaves as if he's not coming back. We go back to young Johnny when Olga took Julian from his mom's trailer. She takes him back to her luxurious big house. I guess that's back in Hollywood. And Julian is enthralled by all the glitz and the glamour, and she has all these people all over the place, beautiful young people. We get introduced to young Lorenzo. She tells Lorenzo, make sure you take care of little Johnny. And then we see the camera pans to a little young girl. Looks, I don't know how old she is, maybe about 6, about 7, 8. She's like, what is your name? And he's like, Johnny. And she says, I'm Isabel. So we're introduced to Isabel. Isabel tells Johnny that she is Olga's niece. And Olga is the queen and she is the princess. So Isabel tells Johnny, do you know what her being the princess means? And Johnny is like, no. And she was like, that means one day you are going to belong to me. This little fast little girl. Olga takes Johnny inside of the bedroom to give him some nice designer clothes to put on. And she calls him Julian. And Johnny is like, who is Julian? She said, you are. So now here is the official transformation from John Henderson to Julian K. We see Julian in one of these nice restaurants engaging in a conversation with one of his rich clients. They're talking about her marriage, and he's giving her all these tips of what she can do to make it better, you know, working his gigolo magic with her. So he looks over and he sees Michelle, the lady from the beach that he met when he was with Rufus, his dog. And the female client looks up and she sees that he's very intrigued by her because he can't take his eyes off of her. And she suggests that they go and come up with this story, that they go and introduce themselves. And he doesn't actually want to do that, but he does ask about the husband, asks who Michelle was with, and she tells him that her husband's name is Stratton. So Julian tells the client that he's going to go check on, I think he said her sidecar or something, to see what's taking so long. I don't know what he said. So he gets up, he goes off or whatever, but the whole plan was to see if Michelle would get up and come follow him, and she does. So the two of them, they meet up, and they're like, he's like, I'm glad you came. And they're asking each other's questions. She's intrigued or want to know why he's with his client, and I don't know why she worried about that, and you sitting over there with your husband, but girl, anyway. So, you know, they have all this little sexual tension between the two of them. You can kind of just feel it through the screen. And basically, she says, what is your name? And he actually tells her his name is John. So he didn't tell her the gigolo name, which is Julian. Michelle got the actual real name, John. So that lets you know that he really likes Michelle. So I think these flashbacks are showing us that he is on a mission probably to go to find Michelle. So I'm guessing Michelle must have been who he really was in love with before all of this happened, that he went to prison. Before he went to prison. We see Michelle sitting in front of her mirror, looking deep in thought, drinking a glass of wine. She puts her wig on. I'm kind of baffled about why she's wearing a wig. I'm not sure if she's sick or whatever. She's giving me that she's sick. And she's also taking medication and drinking alcohol on top of that. So I don't know if it's maybe Valium with alcohol, or is it some kind of medicine she needs to take for illness or something. We see that has newspaper spread out, and on the front page it says male escort exonerated. So she sees that Julian has been released from prison for the murder that he did not commit, allegedly, at this time. So I don't know if she has anxiety now that he's back out. So we'll keep our good eye on Michelle and see what's up with her. At the same time, we see Julian is in Michelle's driveway. Now, why is Julian in Michelle's driveway and he knows this lady has a whole entire husband? Why would you get out of prison and automatically show up to this lady's house where you know she lives with her husband? So Julian is very much still in love with Michelle 15 years after going to prison. So Michelle goes to her son's room. His name is Colin. He's in the room sniffing and snotting, crying because he has to be separated from his older teacher, who he is having an inappropriate relationship with. And he's upset and telling his mom that if his dad, Stratton, hurts Elizabeth, that he will kill him. So then we see Stratton and his lawyers or goons or whoever they are talking to Elizabeth and basically letting her know that she's going to have to sign an NDA and move out of the state in order to resolve this situation without anyone getting hurt, I guess. We get a scene where Julian is meeting up with Lorenzo after 15 years. They're hooking back up. Lorenzo comes down, he opens his garage, and we see the drop-top convertible that Julian used to drive before he went to jail. It's nice and clean, it's shiny. Lorenzo has kept the car up for him all these years, kept it tuned up and everything. And Julian is lost for words. He's looks like he wants to cry. Those two hug it out. They give each other the dap, brotherly love dap and hug. And Julian basically thanks Lorenzo for all of the support over the years while he was locked up, with sending the money and just the support in general. Because normally people, they forget about you once you go in. But, Lorenzo, kept in touch. And basically Lorenzo was like, it was no problem at all. They're brothers, and feels like he thinks that Julian would do the same for him if the shoe was on the other foot. We get a scene where Detective Sunday goes to see Kevin Finnegan to ask him who hired him to kill Janet Holmes. And of course, he barely can talk. He's barely breathing. He musters up what sounds like Keen. And Detective takes that and try to make some sense out of it, but that's basically all she can get out of him. Someone by the name of Keen. Michelle wakes up from one of her drunken stupors and hears a bunch of talking going on outside, so she goes to listen, and she learns that Colin and Elizabeth have run off together somewhere. So she puts a robe on, go running downstairs, and she learns that Stratton has sent McGregor out to go and find them. She gets upset because apparently McGregor is a bad guy. He handles all the dirty work, and nothing apparently comes out good when he goes to handle the business for Stratton. And she just wants them to call the police. Stratton is like, he's not calling the police. He doesn't need the media attention. Elizabeth is a 32-year-old. That'll just bring too much drama for everyone to know. Mind you, Elizabeth was supposed to sign the NDA and move out of the state, but Elizabeth didn't give a damn about that. And keep in mind, Colin said he will kill Stratton if he hurt her. So hopefully McGregor doesn't find him and do anything to the girl, because then we have to deal with Colin. So in the next scene, Michelle goes up. She puts some clothes on. She packs a bag. Where the hell she's going, who knows? They open up the gate to in the driveway, and who the hell standing on the other side of the gate? Once again, it's Julian's ass. Love struck Julian. He's there to let her know that he did not hurt Janet Holmes, and he just wanted her to know that in person, that he had nothing to do with it. And she is like, oh, you can't be here. I have a son. He's in trouble. And he's like, oh, that's beautiful or whatever. She tries to play hard. Oh, you can't be here. It'll just make things worse. So he looks like he wants to walk off or whatever. And she calls out to him like Romeo and Juliet. So they run to each other and hug each other in this passionate hug, as if Stratton is just not right up in the house and can look out the window to see their ass. I'm confused at I'm just confused at that part. Like, girl, your man is right there. You worried about McGregor. You ain't too worried about McGregor because, hell, y'all just doing the most. But in this particular scene, I'm willing to bet that Colin is Julian's child. So after she gives this passionate hug to Julian, she pushes him off of her and says, go, you can't let him see you. You can't let him see you. Hell, if y'all don't have cameras all around the house and he ain't seen him by now, then hell, he ain't gonna see him. Because ain't no goddamn way he don't know Julian in y'all driveway. But anyway, she says, you can't let him see you. And because he'll do it again to all of us. And we like, well, what the hell did he do the first time? Is he part of the hitman that set Finnegan up to go kill Janet and make it look like Julian did it? Was it Stratton? But who is Keen? We got McGregor, we got Stratton, but who is Keen? We need to know who Keen is. So Julian meets up with Detective Sunday in this little diner, and he asks her, when you talk to Kevin Finnegan, what exactly did he tell you? And she lets him know that he mentioned the name Keen. So Julian was like, did he say Queen? She was like, no, he said Keen. And what does Keen mean to you? Julian seemed like he had some type of epiphany or something and ran out of the damn diner as fast as he could. And Detective Sunday was left like, oh, fuck. We see Julian racing down a highway, having flashbacks from his childhood, from when the time he first met Olga, the queen, and all the different things that transpired in his life from the time he met her all the way up until now. He's headed to go, I guess, and confront the queen about, I guess, possibly being the one that set him up. So in the next scene, Julian actually goes to see Lorenzo. When he gets in there, he lets Lorenzo know that he would like to see the queen. And Lorenzo was like, so you want to see Olga? He was like, why? He was like, possibly to go back to work. Lorenzo gives him this look like, like, that's not going to be a good idea. But, you know, he plays it off, looking a little funny about it or whatever. And he was like, fine, I'll drive us over there. In that moment, I did not trust Lorenzo as much as I did before in the previous scenes. For some reason, he was giving off some kind of shady, sneaky vibes. So I'm going to keep my good eye on Lorenzo ass. We get to the house and Julian walks in. Lorenzo tells him to wait at the door. He looks over and he sees Olga. Man, Olga is sitting in a wheelchair looking like she's about 100 years old. Julian goes up to her to ask her, like, what happened to you? Like, what's going on? She tells him they will kill you. We don't know who they are. Julian probably doesn't know who they are. But before he can question her any further, here comes down the stairs Isabel. If we remember back in the beginning of the episode, when he had his flashbacks, when he first got to Olga's house when he was a teenager, Isabel was the little, I guess, 7 to 8 year old girl that was sitting in a chair that told him she was the princess and his job, she was going to be with him when she got older. Isabel now seems to be some evil witch on a rampage. I guess Lorenzo told, I guess maybe now she is the queen of the operation or however the hell that works. She's sizing him up because he says he wants to work. So she's sizing him up and made him take his clothes off, slapping him around, saying all kind of shit. And he ends up having sex with her and the episode goes off. So I'm quite interested to see what happens next episode and I'm here for it.